Shotgun reactions. Who goes for go? Whoever wants to
go ahead,
G.
Man, listen, I'm going to tell you what, man. You know, when I came up with the Kool-Aid Mafia, man, this is not no regular just thing, man. When they told me, I said 6-0, they said, man, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. And I said, listen, we need to come up with something. But when you come up with something, you got to believe in it. And drinking the Kool-Aid really doesn't necessarily mean that you're just going to be out here just jumping off the roof, but you believe in things that aren't yet seen. Sometimes you got to put your feet and flag down and believe in something that you don't quite see yet. And so when I watch the Cleveland Browns and you wear these shirts, and everybody out there that's wearing these shirts, you get to a point and we watch those football games, and then it's just like the thing just starts pounding in your heart. And when you're ready to give up in the third quarter, you say, nah, and drink the Kool-Aid now. We done already came this far. We ain't turning back. And the great thing about the Cleveland Browns is I'm so happy with them because they have really showed the world that football is a more in-depth sport than what we really mean on the surface level. It's just not about your quarterback and how much money he makes and can he be a franchise quarterback. It's the small little things. It's the Dustin Hopkins of the world that kick field goals and you got confidence in them. It's the Cameron Mitchell's tackling somebody by a fingertip and not let them get in 4th and 1. It's J.O.K. blitzing, hitting guys. It's guys playing their first games they've ever played, and they come in and you know what they do? Instead of saying I'm a rookie, they get that Gatorade bottle and they drink that Kool-Aid. And then they believe that they can make the plays and step in for the other guys. To me, I love it so much because this year has told us that football is a team game. Football is a game that you have to have passion and emotion to play it, not just analytics and figuring out who has the most stats. People count, you matter, and Kool-Aid is ready to drink.
Like a you matter drop in there.
Boom! That was crazy.
Only G. Bush, the marketing wizard, can flip a Browns victory into how good this is promotionally. Yes. Like, this is a promotional.
This is beautiful.
This is a dream.
Marketing genius.
You got to believe in it, Jay.
Jason, you were there, right?
Yeah, I was there. And, I wrote this morning about, we talk about just the next man up. And no one actually believes that, though, right? Like, coaches say it. Guys go down, coaches get on the podium and say, well, it's next man up. And everyone's like, yeah, right, okay. Well, no, the season's over. And yet we've got to the point with this Browns season where I look at it like it really doesn't matter who goes down next because you just have a feeling that they're going to figure out a way. So I talked to guys, the unknown guys yesterday, the anonymous guys. Jaron Christian, he was at a Halloween party out of the NFL. He was at a Halloween party with his family, and his agent called him and said, you got to get on a flight to Cleveland. 9 hours later, he's on a flight to Cleveland. A week later, he's a starting left tackle. D'Anthony Bell couldn't even afford to go to college. He went to 4 different colleges, undrafted free agent safety last year, was out of football entirely because he didn't have a scholarship and he couldn't afford a tuition. So he was working a construction job in 2017, carrying around rocks. Now he's making the interception in the end zone to save the game and continue this crazy playoff march on. Michael Dunn was a surprise cut at the end of training camp. He thought he was in good shape. No, they cut him because it's a manipulation of the roster and salary and everything else. They put him on practice squad and told him, just be patient, you're going to help us. And sure enough, Bitonio goes down yesterday, and there's Michael Dunn filling in at left guard. He got a couple of holding calls, but he also threw the big block on the play that sprung Marquise Goodwin. He was the pulling guard helping on the blitzing end. And then there's Marquise Goodwin, who ever thought he'd even still be playing football right now? Yeah. He had blood clots. I thought his career was over. He was out 6 weeks, and he's back. He had the nasty concussion, returns, and he came in the game yesterday. I told Zach Jackson, here's Marquise, like they need something. They were at the point in the game you needed some sort of big play to get this thing moving. 57-yard reception down the seam that really I thought was the play that flipped the whole thing. I thought that's really what allowed Joe Flacco to really sort of catch momentum, catch a rhythm, and then they took off from there. And it just goes on and on from there. We talk about Cam Mitchell, 5th-round pick. Nothing expected of these guys. Ronnie Hickman, undrafted free agent. Nothing's expected of him. And there's the starting safeties now on this team. And the train just keeps moving. The band keeps playing. It's been incredible to see. I really enjoyed yesterday just spending a few minutes with each of these unknown guys that came out of nowhere and are now playing huge roles on this team that is 9-5 and sprinting toward the playoffs.
And obviously the only guy you didn't mention there is Joe Flacco.
Because we know his story.
Who didn't come out of nowhere, but he came off the couch.
Came out of the retirement home.
And for the first 3 quarters of this game, it was like, oh, that's why he was on the couch, right?
He forgot to put his teeth in.
Yeah, he was pretty bad for much of the first 3 quarters. But like we've seen a number of times this year, when the defense kept the team in the game, what the defense did was magnificent. I mean, You talk about a secondary ravaged by injuries. Denzel Ward was back, but he wasn't right. Myles Garrett still not 100%. We know the hits they took on the D-line, and the defense was absolutely lights out in this game. And then when it mattered, after struggling for much of 3 quarters, Joe Flacco and the offensive line, which also was terrible for 3 quarters, even worse than Flacco was, the defensive line did their job. The offensive line did their job in the 4th quarter, and Joe Flacco did as well. And what's really funny is we're used to the same old Browns, right? When the Browns scored that touchdown with 32 seconds, scored the game-winning field goal with 32 seconds left, and we're in our chat group, and Jay's like, because Jay has been through more suffering as a Browns fan than anybody else.
Tissue.
Because he's the oldest of the bunch.
Yeah.
So Jay's like, I don't know, 32 seconds, Justin Fields got some magic. And I'm like, Jay, there's no timeouts. It's okay. And it was almost another same old Browns moment, except it's not the same old Browns anymore, Jay. It's the new Browns who find a way to make the field goal when they need it, who find a way for the other team to miss the field goal. And in this case, the Hail Mary that almost gave us all a heart attack, it was caught. I mean, it was in his belly.
It was a game-winning throw.
Yes. And it popped out. And then DeAnthony Bell grabs it. I'm like, get it down! Get it down!
I know.
What's he doing?
I thought he was going to try to return it, and I already saw the fumble,
Yes.
the scoop, and the score.
Down!
That's what I'm all about.
TV.
I was doing. Well, and you know what? He smartly brought it out 1 yard and went down.
That was
and
it.
Over.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
You're right. I sent the text. Guys, Fields can be tricky here. He's really good for those situations. He was at Ohio State. He is in this spot too. It's funny. You kind of went where I was going to go. As I'm watching the game last night, I'm sitting there. I want to build my opening statement on a word that sums up the season. And I came up with 50 words, all single words. But this is what I've boiled it down to: pivot. And if you think about it, in the micro and of yesterday, and in the macro of the season, that's what this team has been able to do time and time and time again. Pivot. They're dealt a blow at quarterback. Pivot to this guy. Dealt another blow at quarterback. Pivot. Another blow at quarterback. Pivot. 80% of our offensive line is now in the training room.
Yeah.
Pivot. Our kicker sucks before the season. Pivot. One of the things that I really want to emphasize in this whole mantra of pivot, the run game, which was at one point this year definitely a workable run game, for whatever reason, whether it's you're down 4 of your 5 linemen, I don't know. For whatever reason, the run game has completely evaporated. Here's what I love about what they did yesterday. Okay, so what happens when there's no threat of running the football? You're basically keeping your eyes on the short intermediate routes, because that's what, really, if you look at it, that's what Flacco was doing. Mm-hmm. They pivoted in real time in the game to finally take the deep shot with the 2 guys that we know can complete the deep shot. We saw a couple shots with Goodwin early on. Deshaun Watson was woefully off in all of his deep throws to Goodwin. For the last 2 weeks, I've been thinking in my head, Flacco, Goodwin, Flacco, Goodwin. Flacco throws the deep ball. Goodwin gets past defenses. Why aren't we seeing Flacco to Goodwin? Run game was gone. Pivot. We haven't been deep all year. We haven't been that team. Run your 9. Go. And you mentioned the block that gave Flacco just enough time. That's we're going to talk about this later in the show. Which of the offensive tandem relationship are you most looking forward to the rest of the way? For me, I'll give away my answer now. It's that one. We can hit that ball on just about any team. The Flacco to Goodwin thing is going to become a thing here in the last couple of games. That's my hope. But my word for the day is pivot. After every curveball that's been thrown their way, they somehow find a way to pivot and make it work. And I also think that there's irony right now. Their record is 9-5. Once upon a time, there was a movie called 9 to 5.
Working
printed the same way.
5. What a way to make a living.
And here they are.
Dolly Parton.
This team is blue collar.
Yep.
They work. They don't care who gets the credit. On defense, we saw a game-saving play 3 times by guys you wouldn't pen in before the game started as guys that were going to make that game-saving play.
Yeah.
But when the moment called for it, The second or the third string, the substitution, the guy that when we broke camp, we never thought would be a game difference playmaker, made plays yesterday. There's something special going on. I looked back at the Hail Mary 10 times. It wasn't until the 9th time that I saw it, and then I had to watch it again a 10th time. If you look really carefully on that play, you see a hand coming out of nowhere with a 32 tattoo on the back of the palm, and he knocks the ball out of the receiver's hands. It's the work of Jim Brown, guys. It's the only way I can explain it. There's a lot of funky things going on right now.
Did you just get paranormal?
I went super paranormal because I'm not a paranormal guy. But I think I saw Jim Brown on that last play.
I was like, wow.
And he was
I
the
didn't see
ghost that
one.
knocked the... How did that guy not catch the ball?
I think he was startled by it. I truly think he was
cannot
startled by
believe
it
it.
because he was laying there and it's on his
It
chest.
was right
and then he kicked it.
Right there.
Not only did he drop, he kicked
And then he
it.
kicked it up.
He
kicked
Or did
kicked
Jim
it.
Brown flinch that leg muscle and knock that
Maybe.
ball out?
Well, you said pivot so much. We got to go find the Ross clip from Friends. You guys watch the couch? Pivot. Pivot.
That's exactly what I feel like
By
right
the
now.
way, if you want to get more, oddly enough, when I was driving home from the show on Friday, I put on Howard Stern, and he's doing like best of all time.
Yeah.
And who was he interviewing on his show when I turned it on?
Jim
Friday?
Brown.
Jim Brown.
I'm telling you, it's...
Look at this.
It's a fait accompli. Now, you said something that I want to touch on quickly before we dive into our Joe Flacco grade and all of that. You mentioned that it doesn't matter with the injuries. And you had said earlier this week, doesn't matter. Keep bringing them.
Early in the game, it felt like it did.
I do think
Yes.
I do think there is a tipping point. And honestly, to me, I thought that the Posick injury was the tipping point. That takes your line to 80% back up.
No, not Petonio, you mean. Posick
Yeah,
already went-
I'm sorry, Petonio.
Yeah,
Petonio
right.
went out during the game with the
Yeah.
back. You're right. To me, it felt like, okay, like this is enough already. Someone's laughing at this, but it's not funny. When you have 4 of your starting 5 offensive linemen that are either on IR or out for the game, it did to me feel like we're one-dimensional. We're one-dimensional. We cannot run the football. You cannot win a game when you're one-dimensional. And then Flacco put on the cape and he made it work. All that being said, we cannot go. At some point, this magic carpet ride ends because of injuries, in my view. We've got to get these guys healthy. You've got 3 weeks to do it. I feel very secure now that they're going to have one of the playoff spots.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I feel very comfortable in that now. But to me, the goal is, at any and all cost, get these players back. And if they're healthy for week 19, who gives a damn what happened the first 18? It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Well, the complication with the linemen is the fact that how many times have we seen them run heavy jumbo sets with extra linemen? You can't do that now. That's a big part of what they're doing. And Michael Dunn is that extra guy. Nick Harris, those are your 2 extra guys when you go heavy. Well, now Nick's your center and Dunn's your left guard. Hopefully, I saw Joel in the locker room briefly, but I was busy talking to all those other guys I was telling you about, so I didn't get over to him. He was not moving well after the game. He was moving very slowly. But Kevin said he tweaked it in pregame. I can't imagine it's anything terribly serious. Hopefully, fingers crossed. We'll wait and see how it goes. I'm not making any predictions on Monday as to his availability for next week. But that's the crippling part. Like, Michael Dunn has played a lot of snaps in the NFL. Nick Harris he was the Browns starting center until he got hurt on the second play of the Jacksonville preseason game. So these and James Hudson, we can get into Hudson.
Yeah, he's bad.
We will.
We're gonna get into
He's
Hudson.
a swinging gate at right tackle. But in the run game, everyone keeps telling me he's the best run blocker they have at tackle. He's better than Conklin. In terms of run blocking, it's pass blocking is where the deficiency
Run blocking, though, more than anything, like you got to work together it's an orchestra, and they're abysmal. They're like wet tissue paper at the line when they try to run the ball.
I did think Ford was part of the problem yesterday. I haven't blamed him much to this point, but anyway,
it's really hard to judge him when first contact is constantly being made behind the line of scrimmage.
No, he missed some things that were there yesterday.
He did.
I didn't see it.
did.
Yeah, there was one
He
in
was
particular.
running very tentatively.
There was one in particular where I told Zach Jackson, my partner at the Athletic, Jerome went this way, and if he would have just waited a second and cut, there was a lane for him to cut back, and he just didn't see it.
You know
there
what,
was a
guys?
couple plays.
You know, guys, they don't think like we think. I can guarantee there's nobody in that locker room that's talking about anything about injuries. They literally,
Yeah, you're right.
They literally don't care about that.
Yeah, you're right.
And Myles Garrett in the defense is saying, who cares what they have on offense?
But it is there in the back of their minds. I mean, they know who's out there.
No, you have to be irrational. They are when you lose your quarterback, when Chubb went down and Deshaun Watson was gone for the year, they're irrational at this point. You cannot think that anything is going to be bad because guess what? You can control what you can control. And Myles Garrett in the defense, go look at the way they perform. They basically said it don't matter if you got us up there. We not letting them score, and that is infectious. And the thing that is more infectious is this. When you got a defense and a quarterback who's been there before, Myles Garrett said it. He said, look, Joe been there. We don't care if we throw 5 interceptions. Who cares? We know he could get back up here and lead us to a victory.
That's true.
Those are the two irrational things that are leading the Browns
Well,
right now.
it becomes rational because they proved it. They proved they can do it.
And they
The
just
best part was the guy that dug the hole got them out of the hole.
and they just wait for us to just go ahead and say, okay, we believe now.
We got to go to Earl.
Time for a read, right?
Yep.
What's up?